a lot of you guys have been telling me to check out Lev Parnas because he has a lot of information on Michael Cohen. I had stumbled across this video where he actually says, like, that one little excerpt that we've seen from the Epstein files. He has seen another one that lets us know that Michael Cohen knows more information than what he's leading on. Again, Michael Cohen is claiming that he doesn't know anything. The only thing that he was going to tell the feds was about this mystery Jane Doe. Yeah, you're lying, buddy. Let's go ahead and get into it. You know, it take a crook to know a crook, right? Because Lev Parnas had went down for campaign finance fraud as well, too. And he ended up giving some information and evidence for Mayor Giuliani. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
First of all, Michael, people tend to forget who Michael Cohen was, and I'm glad we're bringing it up. Michael Cohen was not a nice, good, decent guy. Just think about what Tara said. Well, he was the fixer. He would call, scream. He threatened people. He was intimidated. This is the guy that wants to take a bullet for Donald Trump. This is not a guy. Oh, excuse me, guys. Where did I lose you? Oh, there. Sorry about that.
I see.
Yeah, there you go. This is not somebody that's out there that is that got caught up in some kind of world. This is Michael Cohen's world. The people around Trump, everybody, he loves that world till this day, and he has a lot of anger that he didn't get his pardon. He has a lot of anger that he went to prison for Donald Trump and all of that. And I truly believe if that Michael Cohen had a chance, he would be with literally right now on Donald Trump's team, getting a pardon and doing his right back to being a fixer the way he's a fixer. And it all came down with the way he started defending Donald Trump when it came to the Epstein files. It made me start looking deeper. I started going into certain sources and trying to find out because Michael Cohen has a whole spiel that he goes out and tells everybody. Nobody knows Donald Trump better than me. Nobody knows. I've spent more time with Donald Trump, 14 years. We were at 10. I was the CEO or president of his beauty pageants and Mrs. Teen USA's. He also started making certain comments. I started watching when he was questioned by somebody else about the Miss Teen USA. When Trump made that comment, he'd walk in there, watch these girls change, and Michael said that never happened. I was with Trump all the time, and we had the parents of all of these girls there. It was all up on the up and up. It was so like, I mean, he went overboard to try to make that look like nothing. So that made me go even further to my memory bank. I opened up my phone and I started looking back into what was going on, and it reminded me of what actually happened back in 2017 and 18 with Michael Cohen when he turned on Trump. So a lot of people don't know that, and I told Michael the story when we sat down once, and he still till this day can't believe it. But Michael, when he turned on Trump, nobody knew about it. He had a private meeting with Al Sharpton in the Lowe's hotels. I happened to, God works in mysterious ways in my life. I happened to be at the Lowe's Hotel, stepping in to go find a bathroom. I had my car stopped because I need to go to the bathroom. Instead of going to the bathroom, I've actually walked into a private area, and here I'm watching. And this is on my way to meet Rudy Giuliani. I'm watching, and I'm seeing Michael Cohen sit there with Al Sharpton. So I took a picture of that.
Now, I wonder what Al Sharpton really has to do with this as far as him turning on Trump. I mean, I know Al Sharpton was not a fan of Donald Trump, but I'm not sure why he's making that. Well, he's seen them there, that's what he's saying. But I don't know if he's trying to lead into like that's how he knew he was going to turn on Trump or not. But let's continue.
And I sent it to Donald Trump. Within the next few hours, me, Rudy Giuliani, Trump were on the phone, and Trump was putting me on a mission. My mission was to go after Michael Cohen. My mission was to go find all the dirt on Michael Cohen. So the first thing that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani wanted me to look into, because just like Trump, Cohen says he knows, there's an echo with one of you guys, just if you could check. Yeah, just like Trump, like Michael says he knows Trump very well. Well, obviously Trump knows Michael very well, and where they wanted me to look in all of Michael's extramarital affairs. This is where they wanted me to look in, Michael's stuff. So, with that said, I can understand maybe Michael has a lot of things to hide in his closet, and I'm not here to get involved in his personal matter.
Remember, he was Rudy Giuliani's fixer talking about Lev Parnas. So that makes a lot of sense. He'd be looking at information. But also, I believe just like Michael Cohen has stuff on Trump, I believe Trump has stuff on Michael Cohen too as well. And I wonder if it's related to the Epstein files. Because again, you were with Trump for 14 years, but yet you don't know anything about Epstein, or the information that you had was about a Jane Doe.
But the fact that Michael Cohen wrote this letter, and this is not the only letter, because my sources are telling me that there was others, and I was privy to see another letter that probably might come out through this DOJ dump. But I would, and hopefully when it comes out, you guys will find it and will be able to produce it. But I've seen that there's more conversation inside of DOJ about Michael Cohen and about certain information that he was pressing about the Epstein and Trump relationship. Now, the other thing I want to make very clear, this is not a regular.
And again, Michael Cohen is making it seem like it was nothing. He only knew about a Jane Doe. Well, why would that make them want to give you a lesser sentence or reduce your sentence if you just told them about a Jane Doe that didn't exist? Again, that part doesn't make sense what Michael Cohen is saying.
Regular conversation. For your attorneys to contact the DOJ and ask for Rule 35, let me explain to you guys what that is. This is when you're already in prison and you want to give information to about a case to the FBI or to the authorities that will allow them to write a letter to the judge. By writing a letter to the judge by saying that you've given us enough information that's helpful for a criminal investigation or conviction. So this is the important part. It's not just like, oh, I heard Trump speak to Epstein. That nobody cares about. That's not, you wouldn't get ruled. It would have to be, I heard Trump and Epstein doing some criminal activity to be able to even have your lawyers to go out. So whatever that activity was, that letter states.
What if it was just just to play devil's advocate?
Yeah, please.
What
please.
if it was just Trump talking about things that he knew that Epstein had done, like secondhand?
That I don't think that they might listen to it again, because it would be I don't know the legal terms, if it's secondhand, if it's admissible, but I think they would still listen to him even if he had information about Trump. See, in the letter it doesn't say who he has information on, but what he does say is that he has information about Trump and Epstein talking. So what I'm saying to you,
that's true. Technically, it doesn't say exactly what he knows, but it's something regarding Epstein and Trump, that connection to it. Because again, this was on the 17th of July, and they're saying that Epstein unalived himself in August. So this was like a month or a little less than when he had eventually took his own life. So again, that timeline right there, the July 17th, 2019, and then Jeffrey Epstein dies a month later. There's something with that, you guys.
Is that those are the exact words from the letter? Just let me take a look. Sorry, I'm just looking.
Why don't you read we can read let me read the letter. So let me read the letter exactly.
I just want to make sure we get it right.
Yeah, let me read the letter exactly. I have it right here, guys. So let me read it exactly. So this is an internal letter from the U.S. attorney, and by the way, also I can't unblock it, but folks, when the time is right, because I don't want to dox anybody, but me and Michael had all the same prosecutors, so I know who these letters are. I could very guessily guess who's sending this letter to who internally, but it's an internal letter from the Southern District of New York, and basically one of the ASU's attorneys is saying to the other attorney that he spoke to on July 17th, on a Wednesday, July 17th. It looks like 6:47 p.m. 2019. He writes that he spoke to Mike Monaco and Barry Spivak, who are very famous, two prominent attorneys in New York. They called on behalf of Cohen. They asked whether we would file a Rule 35 and requested a meeting to discuss it. I asked what has changed since we told them on April 17th that we did not intend to file such a motion. They said that Cohen has, quote, has heard Trump say things about Epstein, unquote. So that is extremely intriguing. So again, it had to be something. It couldn't have been, oh, he heard Epstein likes young girls. That would, you know what I'm saying to you? It wouldn't have been. It had to be official enough, because it says here, but would not get into details at this time about what those were. Meaning that he wants to meet with them to get into details. But the bottom line is, you can look at it however you want. The bottom line is Michael Cohen.
Because again, you got to think about, would he waste the prosecutor's time telling them nothing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to tell you till I get there. Like, this has to be something significant enough to where, well, I don't want to tell you guys until I get there. You know, now some people might look at that, well, he didn't want to give the information and they didn't give him the Rule 35. But here's the thing, even meeting them in person doesn't guarantee that they would have tried to invoke the Rule 35 to try to get him a lesser sentence. So either way, for me, my thought process, and maybe you guys let me know in the comment section after you hit that like button, but let me know in the comment section if you think that whatever this information he had, he wanted to make sure that he said it in person and that there was no loose ends or anything like that. Like, almost like he wanted to protect himself and maybe do it. I mean, it is him, but do it in a way where it was anonymous, where there's not like a record on file.
And has adamantly said he knows nothing about this. This is an official document that his lawyers have given to the DOJ, saying that he actually has knowledge. He has criminal knowledge. That's what this says. He has criminal knowledge about Trump saying things about Epstein. What are those things? He also lies. Somebody came up and said, Michael Wolff. Actually, Cohen said either on your interview or on one of the other interviews that the first time he even heard about this stuff was about when he interviewed Michael Wolff. Just think about that. Okay?
Yeah.
And here we have it in 2019, folks. And here, I want to post so this way you guys could see it. So we'll do it so this way you could.
And Michael Wolff is the one that wrote 4 books on Donald Trump, but also had over 100 hours of recording of Jeffrey Epstein. Don't forget that. And Michael Cohen is claiming that he didn't know anything until Michael Wolff told him. Yeah, right.
See it for your own eyes. In 2019, is that better?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's startling. Obviously, the prosecutors are wondering if they can trust Cohen, which, is always a question, right?
Well, the interesting part, and that's the other interesting part, because these prosecutors also, we're still trying to find out who was part of the whole cover-up. So were they not trusting him, which I believe a lot of them did not trust him because of the lie. Because listen, Cohen lied to Congress. Cohen lied to the SDNY. Cohen lied about.
He committed perjury. So that would be them. That would be a risk for them to believe whatever he says. And, and granted, what if Cohen comes out and say what he knew and he tells the truth? Is it really true? It gives you something to think about, really. And again, the prosecutors are very smart, not just going by whatever he had to say or his word, because again, the part of his sentence was he committed perjury. He was lying.
The sale of the Rublev house that Zev's going to speak about, about that. But most importantly, Cohen has lied to us. So Cohen lies. That's not a revelation that, Cohen lies. But the fact that they, wouldn't listen, that because the Epstein just, if you take a look, when did Epstein get arrested? This would have been around the same right away, like around the June, July time when he got picked up, and Cohen sending them basically that I have criminal information. So I think there's a two-prong happening here. I think this is also part of the cover-up. Maybe they didn't want to hear about Donald Trump because remember, this was still Bill Barr's DOJ. This was Bill Barr, Bill Barr at the time of doing things, even in my arrest, was about covering up and shutting people down, not to get to the bottom of the truth. Like, just, I don't believe Bill Barr indictment of Epstein was because the more and more I'm looking into it, folks, just like the reason why Bill Barr indicted me was to shut me up so I can't testify and talk about my Trump stuff in Ukraine, is the same way I think Bill Barr was trying to shut Epstein up, because we're seeing in the letters that Epstein was heavily involved with Bannon, heavily involved with with the Russians, heavily involved around the same time Trump was in office, 2018. So it would make a lot of sense that if Bill Barr was getting this information and knew, because Barr was trying to protect Trump, protect the presidency. He didn't like Trump, didn't care about Trump. He just wanted to protect the power of the presidency. So that's what I'm saying on that part. So I think there's a lot more that Cohen is covering up for and not talking about when it comes to this. But I definitely, and Ellie, do you mind?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna hop off so you can let Zev on.
Yeah, I was gonna bring Zev up because Zev has some interesting information, Tara, for you about.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right here, but that's Tara and Ellie that he also had on stage. Now it's funny because Michael Cohen is still blaming Tara for the one putting, basically hounding him for answers regarding the Epstein files, and then come to find out, yeah, you are in the Epstein files and you had information. So he still blames Tara to this day. So it was interesting hearing from Lev Parnas giving that insight, because again, he was around during that time where everybody was getting convicted, because he got convicted himself. So again, you guys, there seems to be more information coming out about Michael Cohen and what he knew. So I'm very interested to see if people will continue to put pressure on him. But like I said, after I did my video, I was all like, there's something more going on here. And it's the people around Trump who really could have put an end to all of this, but they chose to be slime balls. And slime ball is the only nice word I can think of other than MFer. So I'm just going to let you know that. But, you have these people who are feckless, cowards, and not standing up for the truth, and all they cared about was power. So at the end of the day, yeah, the people around Trump, they're not to be trusted. But what you do know is that Trump is corrupt, and they got a lot of information that they're hiding from us. We want to know what you're hiding. Just like they won't release all the Epstein files. Release some goddamn files. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment or two. Love y'all.